Hello, welcome to the third lesson under fractions. In this very lesson, we want to look at applications of fractions. Applications of fractions. Now let's look at the following tips. Fractions are used against fractions and absolute numbers against same. So for instance, in a question, you should be comparing a fraction to a fraction and an absolute number like 157 to another absolute number. You shouldn't be comparing a fraction with an absolute number. Now the next step, be cautious with the use of the signs. That's the addition, subtraction, multiplication, division signs. So when you hear it was added to, then addition should come to mind or should be used. Was taken from, then subtraction. A fraction of a number or another fraction will require multiplication. So if you are finding the fraction of a number, then it will require using a multiplication. So say half times 4, or a fraction of another fraction will be half times say 1/3. That will require multiplication. When you hear of, then it's a multiplication. And when you hear was shared into say 4 parts, then it is division. So 10 books was shared for 3 children. You should understand that it is division. It is division. Now let's look at our first example. Example 1. A bowl contains 15 toffees. 4 of these were given to Aku. What fraction was Aku given? So a bowl contains 15 toffees. 4 of these were given to Aku. What fraction was Aku given? Now, total toffees in bowls. So total is equal to 15. And then number for Aku is what? 4. That is 4 of these. So 4. So now the fraction would be Aku's over total. So in this instance, Aku's is 4, total is 15. So this is the fraction. So what fraction was Aku given? 4/15. Now we go on to the next one. Example 2. 2 brothers share some oranges. Kofi got 3 oranges, while Kwame got 7. Find the fractions of their shares. So Kofi got 3, while Kwame got 7. So your first step is to find the total number of oranges. So how many oranges were to be shared? So, sorry. Think. How many oranges were to be shared? So total oranges. So that is 3 for Kofi and 7 for Kwame. And that gives you 10. And it says find the fractions of their shares. So for Kofi, what did he get? He got 3. And what's the total? 10. And then Kwame too. Kwame. What did he get? 7 over total 10. So fraction for Kofi is 3/10. Fraction for Kwame is 7/10. That's for this question. Now example 3. Mr. Tete was given 300 cedis as his salary in January. If he spent 2/5 of 2/5 of, so watch the word of, 2/5 of it on accommodation. What amount was he left with? What amount was he left with, or was left? Now we are saying that he spent 2/5. 2/5 is 2/5. So spend is equals to 2/5. And then salary is equal to 300. Now, if he spent 2/5 on accommodation, what amount was left? So in terms of fractions, the fraction left, or the fraction that was spent was 2/5. So if you want to find the fraction left, it is, so left is one whole number, because the division was done with an item which we consider one whole number. Remember when you began the fraction, we said that if you have an orange and you share it into two, or you cut it out into two, you can say that the one portion is 1 out of 2, or 1/2. So the whole item is considered 1. So 1 minus 2/5, and that is one whole number minus 2/5 becomes, now you change the one whole number into a fraction that this can divide, or better still, you give a subtraction of 1, find the LCM for 1 and 5, that is 5. The LCM for 1 and 5 is 5. So 1 into 5 is 1. Then 1 times the top 1 here is 1. It's 5, sorry. It's 5 minus 5 into 5 is 1. 1 times the top number is 2. So you have 3/5 left as the amount of the accommodation left, the amount of the salary left. Now you need to find the amount that was left. So the 3/5 we have found is the fraction that was left. So now we find the amount, the amount that is left in actual sense, and that will give us an idea of what is supposed to be done. So we had, this is a continuation of the question. This Mr. Tete was given 3, this is example 3. When we go to the next slide, so this is a continuation of the question. So we solve same under. So therefore, the 3/5 times 300 is what? Now 3/5, 5 into itself 1, 5 into 30, 6, 5 into 0, 0, 3 times 60. 3 times 60 will give us 180. So 180 Ghana cedis is the amount that was left after the incident, or after the payment that was done above. So he had 300 cedis, he spent 2/5, and the remaining amount was 180 cedis. So that's for this one. Example 4, use of two different fractions. The question says, Kobe spent 1/7 of his school fees on a mobile phone and 1/3 on a new pair of shoes. What fraction of the fees was left? Now you have two different fractions, one going for school fees, that is 1/7, and then the other one going for a new pair of shoes, sorry, that is 1/3. So he spent 1/7 of his school fees on a mobile phone. So he was given school fees, he spent 1/7 on a mobile phone, then he chose to spend 1/3 of that same school fees on a pair of shoes. So we are asking what fraction of the fees was left. Now the first point is the total school fees will be seen as one whole number. Total school fees is one whole number. So the items of mobile phone and pair of shoes will be taken out of this one whole number. So there is it. We have 1 minus 1/7, that is for the mobile phone, minus 1/3, that is for the pair of shoes. So this is what you are going to solve. The first one here is for the school fees. The minus 1 over 7 is for the mobile phone. And the minus 1 over 3 is for the new pair of shoes. Now this is a fraction. Now this fraction can be rewritten. Now the one whole number can be written as 1 over 1. So that will have a numerator and a denominator. And then minus 1 over 7. And then minus 1 over 3. Now looking at these, you have to find an LCM for 1, 7, and then 3. The least common multiple is 21. 21. So you draw your line. So because it is addition and subtraction, you have an LCM. So the LCM is 21. Then you ask yourself, this one, how many times would you go into 21? It will go into the 21 times. Then times the numerator. That would give you 21. Then minus. Then look at the 7 here. The denominator of 7. How many times would you go into 21? It's going to 21 3 times. That 3 times the numerator of 1, giving you 3. And then the last item, this 3, how many times would you go into 21? It's going to 21 7 times. So that's 7 times the numerator over here. That will give you minus 7. So now you look at the numerator, you have 21 minus 3 minus 7. 21 minus 3 is 18. When you take 3 from 21, it will give you 18. Then 18 minus 7 again, it would give you 11. It will give you 11. So in effect, you would have 11 over 21. 11 over 21. That is the outcome. So what fraction of the fees was left? That is 11 over 21. That's the fraction of fees that was left.